Good morning, beautiful souls. It is Elizabeth Bratcher on the 18th of May, bringing you your daily reading for today. Just a little bit of insight and guidance for your day. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my YouTube channel so far. If you have not already, please do so while you're here. I'm pulling for you out of my own deck today. It is my beta deck, so it's been printed not to its full capacity yet, so excuse the colour. Hope everybody's having a beautiful start to their day. So how this works, guys, is I'm going to pull out 3 cards. All you need to do is take a breath and just let your energy take you to where you're drawn. You might be drawn to number 1, number 2, or number 3. You may be drawn to more than one number, and that is okay. So along with these daily reads, guys, at the beginning of each month, you'll also find a more in-depth reading for your star sign. You'll also find me on Facebook under Elizabeth Bratcher Psychic Medium. Alright, so I'm going to pull 3 cards randomly out of the deck. It's number 1, number 2, and number 3. So just take a breath, guys, and see where your energy is drawn. Is it drawn to number 1, number 2, or number 3? Beautiful. So I'll pop those up there. Let's see what number 1 has to offer. Female. Okay. So this has to come from within. Let's see what else. Okay. Completions. Balance too. This card's coming out a lot in the last 3 days. I think we've had it each day. Alright, so for those of you who are drawn to number 1, okay, so there's female card, you've got the completions card, and you've also got the balance card. Okay, so there's something that's coming from within. So when we talk about that, it means that it's something that, regardless of everything set up externally, we still have to find that little piece from within us that's going to carry us forward. It's going to give us that energy that we need. Okay, so for the challenges and the mindsets and everything else like that that present around us today, it's coming from within. So completions, you know, when one door closes, another opens. So there's a cycle waiting to come out. And I think this is shown in the cards over the last few days, and so this is just a continuing of that, okay? There's something wanting to come out. Now, when we bring in the balance here, okay, it's talking about exactly that, having that even balance between work and play, family and friends, you know, negative and positive, and all of that kind of energy that's there. And so they're asking you just to be really mindful of the balance, because sometimes when something does come out, it does come to an end, it can make us feel sad. It can make us feel, you know, sad is the word that I seem to want to grab onto today around that, but I don't want to throw it out of context. I don't want to make it a big word. These are general readings. Okay, so for those of you that are drawn to number 1, as I said, there's a completion that's here, all right, but it's up to you to allow it to come in, to be able to get to the next side, and just to be mindful, as I said, of the balance. For me in this situation there, it is about perspective, and it is about just, you know, keeping our head up held high through any challenges that are coming through. This is a nice positive energy, okay? It's something that's wanting to wipe out. It's something new wanting to come in, all right? So for those of you that are drawn to number 1, as I said, to allow this to happen, you just need to draw onto your inner strength and know that you can and will create these changes around you. Okay, whatever these changes are that are pertaining to you, the strength needs to come from within. Okay, that is the key starting point, and that is the key message for you today, number 1. All right, let's pop these over to the side. Put number 1 over there, and let's see what number 2 has to offer today. Procrastination. Oh, I love a new deck, they're always a bit sticky. Okay. Alright, number 2. So you've got procrastination, you've got the dead end card, and you've also got the heartache card. So procrastination, creating delays to avoid action. A dead end, this way does not work for you. and then bringing in challenging matters of the heart. And so number 2, when I sit with the energy of these cards here, procrastination, okay, creating delays to avoid action. For me, again, we've had this card in the last couple of days. My great one is always when I've got something challenging to do with work, or something that, is a little bit intimidating, or something that's new that I'm, maybe a little bit nervous about starting. I always seem to need to clean and, things like that. And so I really do need to watch myself with procrastination. And it's that same kind of energy, what delays are you creating to avoid doing something else? Because when you do this, it doesn't work. There's no movement forward. Now, the fact that you've got the heartache card that's here, I feel that these challenges are hard for you, okay? I feel like this is something that you need to push yourself and just take a breath and start putting it into action. This is a bigger picture. This is something that, yes, is on your daily read, number 2, but I feel like it's action born of something that's bigger than just today. Okay, I feel it's just something that you've been holding off doing for several months, several weeks, and that it needs to be done. I feel like this is something that's coming from within you as well. So again, being a general read, it may come down to that it's, losing weight, finishing a relationship, changing work, starting study, beginning a new business. It's all that kind of energy that's there. As I said, this isn't something new. This isn't something that's just come about today, okay? It's coming about today because they want you to put some more deeper action into it. They want you to start thinking about where you're holding yourself back, because you know yourself that you just run into dead ends with it, and it's causing you grief. It's causing you heartache, and that heartache may be coming from the fact that you're procrastinating, or the heartache may come off the fact that you've stopped procrastinating and put something else into action. Okay, but this heartache is only temporary, and it's a challenge, okay? It's just challenging matters of the heart. It's not devastation. It's not the end of the world type stuff. This is just a moment in time that you have to kind of go, okay, for a little bit of work, a little bit of a feeling that maybe is not so great, I'm going to get something really awesome out of it at the end, okay? So number 2, very much so, have a look and see what you've been delaying for a little while now, okay? And start thinking about putting that into action. It's going to create a beautiful shift for you. All right, let's pop them over to the side. And finally, let's see what number 3 has to offer today. Bigger picture. Long term. Beyond self and moments. All right, number 3. Sticky. I'll just shuffle them properly though. All right, self-care and unity. Love, relationships and trust. Okay, so for those of you that are drawn to number 3, okay, you've got the bigger picture card, the self card, the unity card, okay? Now, the bigger picture card, that's exactly that. It asks you to look at the bigger picture, okay? What choices are you making? What choices are you not making? All of those kind of little bits and pieces that don't necessarily just satisfy you today, but are there in place looking at the bigger picture, the bigger picture of life. Now, self-care, for that to come into here as well, very often it's asking you to have a look at long-term effects of what you're doing. And again, these are general reads, so that may be to do around health, it may be to do around career, and it may be to do around relationships. Very much so though, that centre of self-care, how one feels about self. Truth, honour and awareness. Truth, honour and awareness. So are you allowing all of these things in? Are you looking at the bigger picture in the choices that you're making, or are you making the easier choices because they're easier? A bit of short-term gratification. This is asking you to look at the long-term gain instead, okay? And so by looking at the long-term picture and looking at our self-care and making sure we're caring for ourselves properly the way that we should be, we're honouring ourselves, we're bringing our truths in, we're having that self-awareness that's there. Okay, what it's showing is it's going to bring a great improvement to your relationships. Okay, now this particular card here does relate to relationships with other people. Okay, so for those of you that are wanting to bring love in, this is a very clear indication around that the self-care needs to step in. For those already in a relationship, it can be about sustaining the length of that relationship. But absolutely, there's always an element when it comes to unity to self as well, making the commitment to self as well. So for whatever it is fall in for you guys for number 3 there, please very much so what it's asking you to do is to not make choices that are going to bring satisfaction in for the day, but rather bringing in a long-term happiness and joy for the bigger picture. Okay, now again for you guys, number 3, I don't feel like this is something new. I don't feel like this is something that's just arose today. I feel like this is something that you've been pondering for a little while. I feel like you do know what you need to do. Okay, and so for the message for you today, number 3, is asking you to draw your energy back to that and start to think about what you're doing for the big picture. Okay, what are you doing for yourself for the bigger picture? It's going to bring in something really positive here, but what are you doing? Are you doing enough, and are you doing it for today or for the bigger picture? Okay, number 3, so that's for you today. So let's pop those back into the deck and just have a reflection here. So number 3, looking at the bigger picture. Number 2 was procrastination, and number 1 was the female card. Okay, and so for those of you that were drawn to more than one number there, the female, needing it to come from within yourself. Okay, the changes need to come from within you. Procrastination. Okay, so for those again that are drawn to more than one number, the energy needs to come within you. The procrastination and things like that that's there, again, it's linking here, you know, that procrastination comes from within, and so it's asking you just to have a look at the bigger picture. Make choices for the bigger picture. Okay, not for today. Think long term, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a beautiful day. I will be back again tomorrow to do your daily reading. And as I said, please subscribe while you're here. You will find at the beginning of each month a beautiful, nice, in-depth reading for each star sign. Please find me on Facebook, Elizabeth Bratcher, Psychic Medium. Other than that, have a beautiful day. Take care. Please leave a comment, and I will see you all tomorrow.